Alright guys, welcome to part 2. I hope you enjoyed part 1. In this part, I can say part like 100 times. We're going to talk about having fun as a commentator. Once again, I have all the time marks here for all these topics. If you want to fast forward to one of them specific, because this is another probably 20-minute video here, go ahead and fast forward. I'm going to just highlight what we kind of talk about. Talk about having fun, as a commentator. I think that's important. I think Woody agrees with me that, that's important. Things to follow as a commentator. These are just some things that personally... Some things that I kind of like to go by, so to say. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. You'll see what I'm talking about, though, when you get to there. To like or not to like, we talk about liking videos. That's a hot topic among commentators all the time. Things needed to get started. So if you're interested in becoming a commentator or not really sure about how to really get all the equipment and get everything set up, we talk a little bit about the things you'll need to get started there. And also, I have a setup video that I mentioned. There'll be links to that if you guys want to see the setup and how everything's laid out that I use. And the last thing that we discuss is how Black Ops will change the community. Okay, how it's going to, what it's going to do. Is there going to be an influx of commentators? Is it going to be really hard to grow? Is it going to be really easy to grow your channel once Black Ops comes out? So I hope you guys enjoy. Once again, guys, I really appreciate you watching these videos, and hope that you enjoyed. I'll catch up with you guys later. And I think, I guess I can talk a little bit about Wings. There was a point during his channel, and he was, I don't really know how to say. What do you know what I'm trying to get at? There was a point where you could tell as a commentator he wasn't having fun. He didn't enjoy it, and it reflected in his commentaries.
He went through, I think, a tough time. I'll say it ended maybe 3 months ago and started, say, 6 months ago. And there was this sort of phase where, he would open up these things, say, "What's up, haters?" And he knew that his relationship with his subscribers was kind of in a rough patch. And it showed. It showed that it was kind of wearing on him. And that's another thing. If you do this, you need thick skin. So, Wings has it. I think everyone who's been in this game for a little bit has developed that. But you might think to yourself, "Oh, I don't care what these random people on the internet think." You haven't tried it. You haven't woken up and had hundreds of people tell you that you suck, or that you're terrible, or that they don't like you, that you're not interesting, or whatever it is that they say. You need some thick skin, and Wings was going through a period where he knew that every video he put up was going to get a bunch of people commenting on, say, his body type, or his game style, or whatever. And it's harder than you might guess to endure that. Although it's pretty much behind him now. I think people are starting to see the new Wings, and his channel success is reflecting it.
Yeah, Wings is actually one of the only few commentators who I'll watch almost every video of his. There's only, as a commentator, I don't watch, as I said earlier, I didn't get into the scene by watching videos, so I'm not I enjoy seeing what my friends are doing, but I'm not somebody that goes out there really just looking for videos. But Wings is one of the, and we're definitely not, when we're talking about Wings here, we're not, we're both friends with him. We're not trying to say anything bad about him, but he's just a good example of, if you're not having fun, it's going to be seen in your commentary. So if you're not having fun, maybe change what you're doing. Maybe it's not the right thing for you. But once again, neither Woody or I can really say, if somebody's doing something right or wrong as far as commentary. I'm not one to say, if you're in the commentary scene because you want views and because you're in this for money, I'm not one to say that's wrong. If that's what you have fun doing, if that's what you want to do, more power to it. If you're all about numbers and want a high sub count, and you want to box for box everybody and dual comm and stuff, that's cool. That's your route. And, in the end, the community is going to see, and they're going to, view-wise and sub-wise, they're going to boost up the people that they enjoy watching, So in the end, I think the community will decide who's going to be a big dog, who's not, who's going to be successful. And
yeah, I'll just say it's hard to produce really good stuff if you don't have a passion for it.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
If you find yourself not liking it, then slow down or stop, or who knows. But don't put out bad stuff. That's not going to help you.
Yeah, definitely. So a couple other things as far as becoming a commentator, or if you're up and coming commentator, a couple things that I kind of I kind of follow these every time I'm posting a video or responding to comments and stuff. Honesty, okay. I personally think that's huge. I know, well, I can't say a lot, but I know some people may not think that plays a big deal. But I think if you're not honest with yourself, and you're not kind of honest with your subscribers, I think that's, in the end, that's only going to get you in trouble. Okay, I think you should be honest, and if you're going to be honest and put it out there, for everybody to see, you need to be able to back it up. So I know a number of commentators, big commentators, and I've said this before, I've put up videos and taken them down because maybe they were too honest. Maybe, I mean, you have to kind of decide where you want to draw that line. But I think in the end, if you're honest with your subscribers, then they're going to be more passionate about the content that you're putting out there, and they're just going to feel closer to you. So being honest, I think, is critical. And then, like I just said, listen to your subscribers. Subscribers are huge. They can tell. They have this kind of like, when you do a commentary, I know Woody, like a lot of times for me, when I put up a video, like the response that I get from it is nothing like I had envisioned. And I'm sure you've been there too. But your subscribers are, more often than not, they're going to be honest with you. So, I mean, just...
Oh, yeah. Honesty is not a weakness of the community.
Not at all. So listen to your subscribers. They'll help you out probably more than you would think. So, and that kind of gets to, I don't know. I was thinking about talking about liking videos. Do you think that's something we should talk about or not? What do you think?
Yeah, why not?
Because it kind of plays as like an up and coming commentator. Liking videos plays a big part in your channel growth. Okay, when you're something like Machinima Respawn, for example, likes are non-existent. Okay, they don't matter. They have enough promoting power, to promote their videos on their own. They don't need likes. But when you're someone like me, especially Woody's Woody, you need likes too.
Yep.
But somebody even as small as me, what likes do? They put your videos in, and you probably heard this too. They put your videos in places where you typically wouldn't see them, and like on the top 100 list, or something like that. And what that does is that brings people outside of kind of your niche of your subscribers, into your channel. So anytime you like a video, and it's not a hard thing to do, and I know I'm not afraid to ask for likes, and I know
I am. Yeah, I'm always nervous. Yeah, so I do it sometimes, and like I wish we lived in a world in which nobody asked for likes, and then you have a level playing field. But that's not the world we live in. So now sometimes I'll ask for a like if I think it's a special video. But
yeah, but I've actually had subscribers of mine say, like at the end of the video, I'll say, and I typically try to hold it off until the end of the video. Okay, I want an honest response from whoever's viewing my video. So I typically don't put like this video at the beginning of the video, because obviously you haven't seen it, you don't know what it's about, and I want you to be honest. I want an honest response. But at the end, I'll put sometimes a little note, maybe a little reminder. And I've actually had a couple, probably 3 or 4 people reply, send me PM saying, look, if you wouldn't have put the reminder at the end of the video, I would have forgot to like the video. And I'm like, dude, that's perfect. Like, that's exactly what that's there for. I'm not there to entice you to like it. I'm just there to kind of remind you that button's still there. If you were entertained for 10 or 15 minutes and you kind of watched the whole video, feel free to give me a like. It's just gonna help me out. So
I hear you. I have this notion in my head, right, that I do things for subs don't do things for me. Like, that's the relationship we have. And maybe asking for a like isn't such a big deal. I don't know, but it turns some subs off. It turns me off, so I'm not inclined to do it all the time. But I still do it sometimes when I think I'm doing something special because, I like my special videos to do extra well.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
But one mistake you can make, and one mistake I might be making here, is taking my own personal preferences and applying them to the entire community. And, I could just be off base. I might be kind of an odd bird, and that when someone asks for something from me, I think, whoa, that's not what we do here. You give to me. That's how we work. But
that's Woody, guys. That's not me saying that. Yeah, so likes, I mean... I don't know, like I'll go so far as to, if I don't even like a video, but if I watched it until the end and I was, if it entertained me, I'll like a video, which I know is rare. Like, I don't know if anybody really does that, but I'll like it, but then I'll leave a comment in the description, about what I didn't like. But just because, I paid attention, I was watching the video, it entertained me for that length of time, I'll give it a like, because in the end, I think a lot of what this has became is not so much about tips and tactics and tricks and stuff. That's obviously still a big part, but this has really became an entertainment, venue. People come here to kind of get a fix, to occupy their boredom for 15, 20, 30 minutes out of the day, and so in the end, I mean, if you're entertaining me, if you get my attention, then I'm going to give you a like.
So yeah, what the likes do, I don't know if we really explained it, but so you guys might be watching this video because you're subscribed to Onslaught, or maybe you're subscribed to me and I did a promo vid or something. But other guys might find this video through a related video, and other people might find it by clicking on at the top of YouTube, browse, and then the gaming category. And videos that get liked a lot and videos that get commented a lot, they tend to do well in related videos and in that gaming category. So by clicking on like in a video, you're exposing him to new subs, and that's kind of a big deal for the YouTube commentator.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but yeah, everyone measures channels by subs, so we kind of pay attention.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what we're here to do. At the end of the day, we're not really here to put out these videos for ourselves necessarily. I mean, I enjoy the response. I enjoy seeing my videos get likes. I mean, I don't know, you may not like hearing that, but I do. That's something that I kind of judge. That's how I personally judge my videos. If people are, especially if I don't ask for likes and people are still liking it, I did something right. And that's a sign that people are enjoying what you do. For me, anyways, that's a sign that people are enjoying what I do.
Yeah. Another thing I started watching is how far it gets before the first dislike. Like if I can get 300 likes or so before anyone dislikes it, that's kind of a big deal to me. Like I think that's cool.
Oh yeah, dude. I've had four subscribers since the beginning of my channel that dislike. They like, I don't know if they have like their phone notifying them when I put up a video or what, but I get like 4 dislikes right off the bat. Every video I put up, So in the beginning it'll be like 4 dislikes, 3 likes, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, is that really how this is starting? But then like throughout the day it'll end up 500 likes and 5 dislikes, But I don't know who you are, but post up a comment and just say hey, let me know, and I'll take care of you.
They've got software out there putting auto dislikes on you.
Dude, they have something. I don't know what it is, but I swear, like, I don't know. Usually within the first, couple minutes of a video going up, it already has like all the dislikes that it's almost going to get for the day, or at least half the dislikes.
Right. So what do you need to get started? Equipment, etc.
Yeah, weird. This is long. Like, this should be like a podcast.
I thought it was going to turn into a mini podcast. But we're near the end of our topic list.
Yeah, we are. I have a topic list. That's right, guys. All right, so what do you need to get started, okay? Black Ops is coming out. You're thinking about getting into the commentary scene. Equipment, okay? This is kind of the first thing, the critical thing. Aside from what I mentioned earlier, what is your interest? Figure out if this is really something you want to do and have the time to put into it, okay? Equipment you're going to need is kind of not cheap, especially I know a lot of you are young. Maybe you don't have jobs. But you're going to need a PVR. That's a personal video recorder. Woody, I think you're using a Blackmagic, correct? But that's one that you'll install to like a desktop computer. Devices that you can hook up to like a laptop or like your Hauppauge PVR, or I have a thing called AverMedia, which isn't as popular. I'll have a link to my setup video too. I know I've talked about this before, but there'll be a link to my setup video where I show you guys everything I use. So you need a video recorder device. You'll need some type of computer. Obviously, it doesn't have to be the best computer, but if it's kind of newer, it's going to help you. It's going to be less frustrating working with. So
let me jump in on both those points. So the Hauppauge, I mispronounce that all the time. The Hauppauge is by far the most popular one, and it's a good choice. Yeah. It records in 720, which is easily enough. The games aren't even in 720, so mine records in 1080. It doesn't really matter because the games aren't in 1080. It's just all getting upscale. Yeah. But the Hauppauge's really popular. You can't go wrong with that. Blackmagic has 2. There's the one I have, which is the Intensity Pro. It's a PCI card that goes into a desktop. If you're a laptop guy, there's the Intensity Shuttle. I know 1 or 2 guys have that already, and that's supposed to be pretty cool.
The Shuttle is, I think it's a USB 3 though, so you need to make sure you have that.
I was just going to call that out. Yeah. So you would need a really recent computer.
Yeah, new beastly computer.
Yeah, to have USB 3 because it's not that common yet. And the other thing is the PC itself. So if your PC is weak, then your renders can take a long time. For my first 100 videos, I used a fairly weak laptop, and the renders would take 8 hours. And I would just kick it off, go to bed, and in the morning, it'd be ready to upload. That's how it worked.
Then you see the rendering and something was wrong or off, and then you would be like, oh no.
That's just the way it went. Yeah, you dot your I's and cross your T's and let it go. So, but the trouble was, when you commentate it, if you're watching it render sort of in real time while you commentate, the gameplay would get really jumpy. And sometimes it was difficult to see what was going on, and my commentary would suffer because I had a weak PC.
Yeah, definitely.
I couldn't see what was going on. So it's nice to have a better PC, but I wouldn't let that stop you. I think altogether, everyone says the equipment's really expensive, but $250 and you're in, right? $200?
Nah, well, you need the editing software too. I don't know if you can do if you can record and edit in like Movie Maker, I think is what comes with like a Windows or a PC.
You definitely can. Yeah, Only Use Me Blade, I think, still uses Windows Movie Maker.
Movie Maker. But you'll need like, I don't know. A lot of people these days are really particular about quality. So if you're just using, I don't know, maybe not, but you'll want like maybe a decent mic, but that's not expensive. You know, you can get like a desktop mic. That's what I use. The mic, and it sounds bad right now, but that's just because I broke it. But you can get like a mic for like $15. But I don't know if like your regular standard like laptop mic may be the quality you're wanting.
No, yeah. I wouldn't use a built-in laptop mic, but a $10 Radio Shack mic does pretty well.
Yeah,
mine's better than that, but that's really all you truly need. A lot of guys on YouTube use a mic that costs less than $15.
Yeah.
And then you need almost any PC or Mac will do. They both come with free software, and you need an HD. Oh yeah, so we didn't touch on the Dazzle.
Dazzle, that's kind of the intro kind of.
I wouldn't waste your time.
Yeah, at this point, you're. First of all, the subscribers you may get may not be as. Like, you're really going to have to get subscribers that are passionate about you, okay? Because the quality not being HD these days is something that's kind of a standard now. So if you're not putting out videos in HD quality, it's going to be hard to build a channel. So
I'm telling you, putting up standard definition videos is like being 5 foot tall in the NBA. You better be freaking special to compensate for that. You need to be really something. You better get 200 kills a game if you want people to watch your standard definition games.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. I would just save your money. I think the most expensive way to get an HD PVR is to buy a Dazzle and to buy an HD PVR. And that's what you'll end up doing.
Yeah. Yep. And I guess that's about it, huh, Wood? Is there anything else? I think we probably covered everything.
We're doing pretty well. I got one question for you. Do you think that with the release of Black Ops, there's an opportunity for new directors to get sort of, enter a rapid growth period in the same way that there was with the release of Modern Warfare 2? Or do you think that it's just going to be the rich get richer and that it's not really the opportunity that I might think it is?
And we've talked about this kind of before. It's going to be crazy. Okay, that's what I think it's going to be. The people that are doing it right, the people that really have a knack for commentating, I think they're going to explode. Okay, you, Wings, Kyle, if he's not blowing up shit and he's actually playing the game, you guys are going to explode. Okay, and guys like me, I'm really going to have to be on my game, so to say. I'm going to have to keep up with the people that are lower than me, and I don't know. There's going to be such an influx of content. There's going to be the community's going to grow. I mean, that's going to be obvious. There's going to be a ton of people that are new getting introduced to the YouTube commentary scene. And I don't know. I think it's going to be crazy, though. I can't really say for sure kind of 100% what exactly is going to happen. But I think little guys are going to have a hard time unless they're bringing something new to the table. So...
Yeah, so from that I take away that, there's going to be a lot of new potential people looking at videos, which kind of makes sense, right? I mean, that I know I got into videos looking for help playing the game. There'll be a lot of people pick up Black Ops, look for help playing and getting better. But not so much the notion that the playing field gets leveled again. You think that the big will get bigger and everyone else will just try to ride this wave and do the best they can without getting passed up.
Yeah, because the guys like the big guys, when somebody comes to YouTube, you're going to be the first people they see. They're not going to find the little guy that has 100 subscribers. They're going to find the big people that have large like to dislike ratios. Like I mentioned earlier, they're going to find the videos primarily that have the most views and videos that have the most comments or the most discussion, surrounding them. So that's when people first come to YouTube, that's what they're going to find. So that's going to help you big guys, that are still putting out videos that are, attractive to your subscriber base. That's what's going to, just help keep you guys, ahead of the pack. So it's going to be tough for the little guys, I think. I don't think there's going to be I don't know. Like I said, man, I can't say this enough. If you're not bringing something new to the table, okay, whether it be, a personality, and this is so long, and I really hope you guys don't mind this, but I didn't mention this earlier, but a thing that's become popular is the kind of I don't know, the characters these days. You know, you have your Dr. Disrespect, you have your FPS Russia, and that's something brand new to this whole. I mean, they've only been doing this what 3-4 months maybe. Those
Something like that. Yeah, I think Disrespect maybe a little longer, but yeah, that's I hadn't really thought of that.
That's a whole new. You know that. You know, aside from them being good gamers, you know, their characters is what have really kind of catapulted their channels. And that's a good example, you know, of finding a niche, you know, finding something that hasn't been done. So, I mean, if you can find something like that, say you're like a girl gamer, and if you can record yourself in like a bathing suit gaming, guarantee you'll have 100,000 subs in a couple of years. So, anybody out there want to do that, I'll subscribe you. If you know, so I'm just saying, you know, I think that's critical. I think that's key. And then, as I mentioned earlier, you know, evolving. You know, your channel needs to grow and change the same way you grow and change, same way your subscriber base changes, and same way the community's changing. So, yeah. So that it.
Nearly wrap up time.
Yeah. In the description, I'll have a link to the setup video that I mentioned. I'll have a link to the video that Woody that kind of started my channel. You know, what was it called? It was Best Rivalry on YouTube, I think was your first video. I'll have a link to that so you guys can kind of see that if you're not familiar with it, or if you just want to, you know, reminisce to the good old days. And then I'll obviously have a link to Woody's channel because a lot of you probably don't know who he is, so sub him up, by the way. So I guess that's it. Woody, I appreciate you coming on, man. Thanks for chatting.
Thanks for having me, man.
All right, catch up with you guys later. See you on Xbox Live.